Amazon eventually got rid of that particular hiring program because it did not work. And so I'm reading an article here from Reuters, and they did an article back in 2018 where they talked about Amazon scrapping their AI recruitment tool. And one of the issues with that specific recruitment tool is that it constantly would identify potential candidates, or I should say, it would screen out potential candidates based on their gender. So if the program would screen 100 resumes, it would, only spit out a certain number of resumes, and generally those resumes were based on men, or I should say, the resumes that were screened out were women, and then the resumes or candidates that moved forward were based on men, because basically the program was trained through its information that was fed to it based on the current candidates that they had at Amazon, and in particular positions, that men were the preferred candidates for these positions. Well, that's where you have AI bias come in, right? Because now you were screening a whole population of people out of these jobs, right? Specifically women, based on gender. So that's a form of gender bias. And the discrimination would be, a lot of times it could be just something in your resume that indicated that you were a woman, that you played on, in college, you played on the women's volleyball team. You might have had that on your resume. You might have said that you're part of a women's networking group. Any little thing that said women in there or woman, it would screen out potential candidates and only accept those that either didn't have those descriptions in there, didn't have some form of language, or maybe even a name that indicated that you may be a woman. And then those that, didn't have that in there, they would be accepted as potential candidates and suggested as the stronger of the candidates for these jobs. So that's just one example of AI bias. Now, again, Amazon did eventually move on from that hiring, that AI process, or that AI hiring process software, because they did realize that it was truly being discriminatory towards the potential candidates. So that's just one example of what AI bias looks like.